Yo, I put it like wow, this that sound. These oaks don't work hard like me, I hope they know by now. Bayo Bab, stand my ground. Bro, these money trees go overseas like Percy Tau. I make sure you stay around, quiet when I'm under loud. No negatives allowed, me and positivity took a vow. I always play to win, don't anticipate loss. Mind always in the clown, my boy. Never think about the drop, never ever ever think about the drop.
Welcome to it, sports fans. It is the MKT Show, and my dream has come to life. It's just me in the studio today. Everything I do is just about me. I don't have to consider anybody else. I don't have to think about anybody else. And hey, that is a good life. I got to tell you, it is a good life. It's a fantastic day to be alive. It is a fantastic day to be alive, as every single day is. Good to have you with us. If you are joining us for the very first time on YouTube, please do subscribe. Welcome. And yeah, share, like, share, subscribe, be a friend, tell a friend, they say, is what they say. If you don't have any friends, then I don't really know what to say, because I don't know what to say. You try and get a friend, and then you can tell them, and then you're being a friend, and you're telling a friend, and then if they're a terrible person, you can just stop being their friend. I mean, you're not forced to be friends with them. So that's a whole friend situation that can happen. I'm alone, but not alone. For some people, it's a good thing. For some people, it's a terrible thing. So I've got James Ilsley as well here. James, you're here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's it.
Hi.
Hi.
I think it's been a while since we've done a...
just the two of us.
We can make it if we try.
Just the two of us.
This is fun.
It's good singing. It's good singing. You're a good singer.
Thank you.
You're trained or not?
No.
Were you in the choir?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You told me this.
Also sing a ton in my car on the way to varsity in the mornings.
I mean, that's
And then I used to practice all of these riffs and things.
Yeah, but what does that mean? That's not classical training. Maybe you just got a gift for it.
That can improve your vocals.
Really?
Yeah. Anything that you do over and over and over again can improve.
I don't know about that. I think people think that.
What do you think practice is for? Practice makes perfect.
So okay, give me an example in this case. Like, so if you hear Luciano Pavarotti, let's say, and you want to get better at being able to do a full-on opera, and you sing Katy Perry's music, you think that's going to help you hit those high notes? Like you got to have something called deliberate practice, don't you? Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm reading the wrong books.
I think like you can train yourself in specific keys or notes.
So you think all of these art schools are a waste of time then, is what you're saying? Like, well, why are they even doing it if what you're saying is true? It's kind of
not what I'm saying.
Oh, it's a little bit. It's what you're saying. It's,
Zero to Zenful says Mbelelo's my friend. So you've got a friend and you didn't even know.
No, well, that's presuming I'm the Mbulelo you're talking about. Because there could be Mbulelo's quite a, ubiquitous name. Ubiquitous.
Sorry, just one sec. Hands up all the other Mbelelos on the MKT show.
Oh, great.
I can't seem to.
Great visual mixing there. That now,
Did that? I didn't see what happened. I wasn't.
That's a great shtick.
What happened?
That was
1, 2, and 3 of you.
Incredible stuff. That's huge. That's James.
I am James.
You are James. You're the Jamesiest James you can be. All right, Jimbo. Good to have you on. We're going to talk. Yesterday, I didn't tell you where I was right, where I was wrong. We'll talk Manchester United and the Ollie saga that continues to unfurl. We'll do some social media. James has put some stuff together for us. And then the Arsenal, humbled by James's Liverpool. We'll talk about that. And humbled, maybe not. Maybe they should have been expecting it. All disappointment is linked to expectation, and I told you so about Arsenal, but I'll tell you my thoughts and why it was good for Arsenal for it to happen at this stage of the season. If you're just joining us for the first time, click like if you like the video. I mean, it's pretty early in the show, so it's tough to say whether you like it or not. If you hate it already, dislike. That's the down thumb, and then you can just leave it on in the background. Because as the great Floyd Mayweather said, whether you're here to watch me win or lose, either way we collect him. So if you hate the show and you hate watching, that's awesome. Welcome to this. I hope that makes you feel better that you hate us and you're watching this because you hate us. And you just want to say, his face is so ugly, or whatever it may be, which is not good for my confidence. But that's a separate show. That's for a different show. It's not Oprah and Gail. All right, it's the MKT Show. We're a sports show. We've got plenty coming up on the other side. At funerals, people sometimes jump into the hole where the coffin's going down.
What?
Yeah.
Holy hell.
Yeah.
Holy.
So I was talking. I was talking to a client of ours at Cliff Central this morning, and his father was what James and half of James's DNA is Afrikaans. Tough to tell, I know. If you're an Afrikaans person, it is true. But his father was a dominee, this guy, and he was telling me a few stories about some of the, obviously being the dominee's son, he's obviously had a lot of funerals and weddings and stuff because obviously dominee puts kids to work, obviously on the weekend. You don't just get to be a bum. But he was telling me, people would go and jump into the hole as the coffin was going down to kind of mourn. James, you've been to a lot of funerals in your life. Like as an adult. I don't mean when you were young.
Weirdly, no, actually.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think I've been to probably 2, and that's pushing it. The one I was probably barely even an adult.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, hey, as we get older, right, these things happen and we live in a dynamic world. But I thought to myself, speaking to this gentleman, he's Afrikaans. And some of the things we were talking about is how similar black people and Afrikaans people are culturally in terms of just loving death more than life sometimes. Because listen, people will spend money on funerals, boy, that they would not dare spend on you whilst you're alive. But this story particularly hit me when he said, yo, one of the things that would happen is that people would jump into the grave. But James, listen to this. Here's the story that he was telling me. It was really interesting. Some people are grieving so that other people can see that they were the most sad at the funeral. And he said, because obviously when you go to that many funerals, you get to see all the dynamics, right? Like, ooh, you can you start to learn what family dynamics are. And that one brings nicer flowers because, you know, she's the mom-in-law and the son died. And it's really a passive-aggressive message to the widow that you didn't look after my son well, or whatever, you know, there's always family dynamics. So yeah, one of the things he told me, people would just jump into the hole as they're lowering the coffin, which I found electrifying.
I found out a couple of weeks ago that, and I'm being bad at remembering my research, but I found out that some people actually get married in so they dig their grave and then they get married in the grave.
Oh wow! Oh, like we till death do us part. Yeah. Take the symbolism to the next level.
So it was a thing. If anybody watches The Office, the American one,
okay.
One of the characters says that that's what they do, and I thought it was like this fake thing. But I did like a ton of reading and like trying to see if this was actually a thing. And apparently it is.
You know, there's so many people on this planet, right? What I like is I'll never stop being surprised because people always think of new ways to do stuff. Like there's always, especially now where like it's really opening up, nothing's a bad idea. And I kind of like that because I think the death of life is when I stop being surprised. You know what I mean? Like that'll be terrible. That'll be terrible. Like, as much as I hate surprises in my personal life, like, I still like to go, what were you? You know what I mean?
What, like being shocked at how someone died?
No, or just stuff people do. Like getting married in a grave, you're like, wait a minute, what? But there'll be something else in 3 weeks that I'll hear, and I'm like, huh? I kind of like that. It gets me juiced up because my life is so vanilla, right? I try and keep my day, I eat the same thing every day. I try and keep it very much the same. That, like, things that you know will shock me because I just don't let them into my world. So I kind of like it. So you're saying getting married in a grave, huh?
Yeah.
But that one's a bit of a double-edged sword because are you sending your marriage to the grave? Because I know people think they're being funny, especially in Instagram times, especially people that, not everybody at your wedding's happy for you. Like, people need to hear that. You know there's that one person who liked your husband or your wife, and they're going to save it and go, I always knew it. They were sending their marriage to the grave anyway. You know what I mean?
Or they don't actually do this anymore, but it's going to be one of those things where are there any objections to this marriage? And then that kind of thing is going to ruin the...
I see what you're saying. Like, do you mean in hindsight? Like, yo, I should have said something here. Yeah. I always knew, look,
Yeah. Also, I was thinking about it.
Hey, how deep do they dig the grave? Like 6 feet? Do you have to lower them down there?
I struggled to find information on it.
This is so... Who's doing this?
It's weird, huh? I'll try and find the article that I read.
Like, marriage above ground is hard enough, right? The whole thing. Like, and also we must separate two things. I think most of us struggle to do this. And I guess it's the same even if you're dating someone, right? Sometimes the wedding is more fun than the actual marriage. Do you know what I mean? It sounds like the same thing, but they're actually not. Is your wedding's an event, and then you still need to be married to this person forever. It's like being married above ground's hard enough. Why do you need to dig a 6-foot grave, which must be murder, by the way, to go and get married?
It gives a whole new meaning to till death do us part.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're telling me.
Although it also kind of makes don't you think it would make the funeral weirdly romantic?
What do you mean?
Like if your wife dies or like you die, don't you think the funeral would be kind of weirdly romantic? Because, this is where we got married.
No, but hold on. What if your wife dies and you're 35?
Exactly.
What are you talking about? So what are you saying? Are you saying But then, no. So what are you suggesting? Are we playing the video of us getting married at the funeral? As I get, do we use the same? Like, because I kind of see what you're saying. You're saying there's a bit of honey for the medicine.
Yeah.
The medicine
baby,
is
this is where we got married, and this is where we said our I do's. But you're dead now, so.
So is my wife crying at this funeral? Well, what's she? Because who's saying this is where we got married? My wife, who's meant to be heartbroken, or are you saying she did the crying a week before and now she's got it together? Like, as you all know, in order for there to be life, there must be death, or like.
So like, let's say you're the one that's died, right?
Okay, and my wife is my wife at the funeral.
Yeah, your wife's at the funeral.
Does she have a new boyfriend yet? Has she moved on? How quickly is my wife moving on?
No, it's the day of the funeral, so it's only been like a week. You've died of a running incident in Cape Town.
Yeah, terrible.
What's actually happened is you were running, and a tiger jumped out of nowhere and mauled your arm off.
Yeah, no tigers in Cape Town, but I get
it. Also, an alligator came and did the death roll thingy, all because you didn't want to watch Modern Family.
Where am I now? Because alligators and tigers live so far apart.
I was going somewhere.
Am I in Bangladesh?
I was going somewhere with it, and then I realized I could do a callback to yesterday's show, and then I confused everyone.
No, that's fine. But it's listen, if you're gonna paint the picture, because I did like how you're doing a full story thing.
Yeah.
But where am I dying? Where am I running that there's a tiger and an alligator? I'd have to be in Bangladesh or India. And then we need to presume that somebody has an exotic pet, because as far as I know, alligators are in America. Yeah.
I have it. I know how you like exclusive things. Okay. So here
breaking news.
There you go.
News.
Not eyewitness news this time.
No.
So this is how it happens. Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody sees this show. And they're like, oh, that MKT guy, we want to use him for a promotional thing for a long distance run.
Yes.
The first ever inaugural long distance run in the Amazon rainforest.
I've already been to the Amazon. No tigers in the Amazon, by the way. Pumas, yes.
Okay, so
massive pythons. I saw a python.
So there you go. So you get invited, and you're hosting, and you're doing the MC thing. Hey, everyone, welcome to the first.
Oh, am I emceeing an event there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Welcome to the first ever inaugural Run Your Heart Out race.
There's already a race in the Amazon, but okay.
Yeah.
Ryan Sands won it. No big deal.
To hold the mic. I can hold this.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome to the first ever inaugural Run Your Heart Out race, where we run our hearts out. Blah blah blah. I'm emceeing. Ha. I'm so good.
Wait, are you me now?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Right. Get ready to start your engines, ladies and gentlemen. And they're away. And everyone runs off. Okay. And you're waiting there, and you're busy doing your thing. But little do you know, behind you there's a cobra.
Yeah. No cobras in the.
A boomslang.
No, none of those. They're in South Africa. Python. There were a lot of reticulators in there.
An anaconda.
That's it.
Is actually coming. It's making its way up behind you, and you don't know. And then before you know it, boom, you're dead. He's eaten you all in one piece, like snakes do, just all the way up. And that's how you've died. No.
Hold on. You don't know anything. Your problem is you don't know anything about nature. You don't know anything about anything. That's not how a python would. A python wouldn't swallow me whole.
That's what I just said.
No, it wouldn't do that though.
Oh, why?
No, because
snakes do that to small prey like bunnies.
But what do they do before that? Literally, it's in the name. They're called boa constrictors.
No, but I was skipping over the semantics because we're on a time thing.
Yeah, but I'm a human. I'm a full human being. How big is this anaconda? Have you not seen the movie Anaconda? Clearly not. Jennifer Lopez is.
Have you seen the movie Anaconda?
Yeah, I have. Jennifer Lopez is. I'm a journalist in a shonko. I'm a fly girl, and I'll be on the big screen. Later on in life, I marry Alice Rodriguez. He take steroids. And then Ben Affleck, he say, bigger movie, bigger budget, terrible movie, Gili. I be in the movie, but I get my money, mucho dinero, and me I got BBW. That's yeah. She's in Anaconda, the movie. Terrible movie. Oh, sorry, that was Jennifer Lopez, who's in Anaconda.
Cool, so the Anaconda's eaten you, and Salma Hayek made an appearance at some point.
No, it's Jennifer Lopez.
Jennifer Lopez made an appearance.
She's
at
Fly
some
Girl,
point.
yeah.
And now you've died.
Yeah.
But where you're getting buried is where you got married, because you got married in your grave.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying the funeral's kind of romantic, because this is where me and the love of my life, Mbolelo, got married, but he's dead now.
But who's that romantic for? I'm trying to think. I'm dead, so I don't.
Kind of.
So
this is where we got married.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's kind of, she's kind of conflicted. It's kind of cool now that I think about it. Like I was struggling to see, but now I do see it's kind of cool, because in that sense, one of my things, because I'm not a forgiving person, so I would love to haunt people from the grave. I don't believe in ghosts, to be very clear. Let's make that clear. I don't believe in any of that nonsense. But I would want to haunt people from the grave, and now I'm a part of her life, because no matter what happens, her next relationship, because she'll probably meet a guy, let's get married, where? In the Winelands. Like, how boring is that? And she'll probably keep some of the same friends we had, right, Jimbo?
She'd keep some of the
friends we had while we were.
Yeah, no, for sure. Especially one of your best mates who...
Yeah, he's probably the next husband. He was just waiting for me to get eaten by a ridiculous...
when she's vulnerable.
Yeah, he was always plotting like, I should see if he can go to the jungle and get eaten by an anaconda. Jennifer Lopez, not a good movie, but she made lots of money. But anyway, but then imagine their wedding, how terrible their wedding's going to be. So I'm now haunting their wedding, because people get there, it's like, oh, wait, are they getting married above ground with the pastor? Like, this is so boring.
No, this is lame.
Yeah, this is terrible. There's no darkness, or there's no grave at all.
Yeah.
Like, and there'll be that person, I don't know if you go to weddings, there's some people who clap it a bit too hard before the wedding.
Ooh.
And then they're like, hey, this wedding sucks. Last time, said it's at a funeral. I watched the funeral and the wedding at the same time. Oh, jeez, I wish Mbolelo was here. So sad that he's dead. Jeez.
Little do they know the wedding is actually right next to your gravesite. So Mbolelo is there.
Now, here's how we take this one to the next level. I faked my death. Now I'm watching who, if anybody was sad, I want to see who was the most sad. Then there's like, okay, everyone's moving on. As she's about to say, as the pastor goes, if anybody wants to blah, blah, blah this wedding, I jump out. Yeah, when I was Kumbuzo, I knew it would be you who'd take my wife. Oh my gosh, James, imagine how awesome that would be. Like, I knew you always had an eye on her. I knew. And my mom said, watch that devil. She said it's you. Yo, then I ruined the whole wedding. They've already spent like 250,000 Rand.
But because you're like a spirit, right?
Yeah. No. This is really me. I faked my death.
So it's really you.
Yes, I'm coming back as a real person. I'm fine. I've been living with Tupac and Michael Jackson on an island somewhere.
With a pet anaconda that you tamed when he tried to kill you.
No, well, that wasn't even me. See, that's where you missed it. Have you ever seen the movie with John Travolta and Nicolas Cage, Face Off?
Yes.
Yeah. So I did...
But
except the guy's just wearing a mask like me, and everyone thought, oh my God, he's dead. But actually, I was setting up my friends and wife to see which one of you snakes are going to get me. Ironically, the other person gets killed by a snake. Now, whose baby is that? Don't even worry about it. Whoever's dead, we've already taken care of that. Don't let a bad storyline hitch ruin a good movie. And then boom, I'm fine. I'm already in Luxembourg. And then I wait like 2 or 3 months. Obviously, I've got a fake Facebook account keeping an eye on my wife / ex-wife, because she has to get divorced from me. And then boom, I pitch up. I'm actually at the wedding.
Yeah, I think, you know what? We've skipped over something very important. And it's the fact that in order for all of this to actually take place, you first have to be not repulsive to women.
That is a great point. Welcome, give me that music, because we're actually a sports show. And as I do, that's such a good point. So you're suggesting I'm going to have to attract somebody before
try, at least.
I get married, huh?
Yeah.
Where I was right, where I was wrong. We are a sports show, my God. That is a very, very good point. Before getting married, try and be attractive to at least one person. And listen, what that does do for everybody on earth, including my guy Ryan Tinline, is that there's at least one person for you just on numbers. You know what? People make this mistake. They want to be attractive to everybody. No. You only need to be attractive to one person. See? Don't try and be attractive to the whole world. One person. If you want to get married, well, I mean, with divorce rates now, it's maybe 3 people. But okay, let's not kill a good story. All right, where I was right, where I was wrong. Let's start off with where I was right. Cristiano Ronaldo made a mistake. All right, I said this before the move. I said Man City, PSG are the only places Cristiano Ronaldo should go. Well, he chose Man United, and I said the problem there is that Cristiano Ronaldo is ready to win Manchester United. I don't know if they've been rebuilding. I don't know what the last 3 years have been, but they're in a very, very bad place. And I don't care how talented you are. Talent must have stability in order to succeed. I was dead right. Cristiano Ronaldo made a mistake. Where I was wrong, Chelsea are a serious bunch. And I know I've said it a couple of times now, but they're without Timo Werner and they are without Romelu Lukaku. Right? And Pulisic's just on his way back. Those 3 are serious firepower and probably start in every single other club in the Premier League. Right? Those 3 are out and they blew Leicester away. Absolutely blew Leicester away, and Chelsea are looking serious. I was dead wrong. Thomas Tuchel, even if it is short term, it's been quite incredible. Where I was right, the Springboks are hated by World Rugby. Like this Russie situation now, and now Gregor Townsend. I mean, listen, I want to see what the World Rugby is going to do, right? With the Eddie Jones and Australia comments that have just come out about that red card. Because if it's not at least as harsh, at least I want to see a 6-month suspension there, because now you've said what Russie did was bad. I don't see how Australia's comments are any worse. But they hate us. And it's because the Southern Hemisphere will dominate until the very end, and the English want to try and run rugby. Listen, they are the money, right? But I'm sorry, I've said this before. World Rugby hates us because we got them Afrikaans boys, we got those vendor boys, and we're not playing. And they can't. You know why they're bitter up north? Because they keep thinking we're going to send our A-grade premium beef of Afrikaans oats up there, and then they're getting Duan van der Merwe, and it, you know what I'm saying, buyer's remorse. It's actually our 3rd grade. You thought we were sending pastrami, but it's actually polony. Get the hell out of here, World Rugby. Sick of it. Where I was wrong, listen, the All Blacks, I'm not sure what's going on there. It's a record loss to France, 40-25 if you saw the game. I was wrong. I thought this new era had some new blood and they were going to be unstoppable. Why is Mwanga not playing all the time? I just don't get it. But perhaps the All Blacks will tell you this, right? We've always been great between World Cups, but terrible at World Cups. Perhaps they're managing themselves and hoping that they can kind of tinker between World Cups and peak at World Cups. But my God, I was wrong. I thought they'd go up north and blow the North away. But Ireland was a disaster. And my God, France, disaster is an understatement. Where I was right, Arsenal not top 6, right? They're not top 6 material. They lost by 4 to Liverpool. We'll talk about it a little bit later. All right, I don't want to hear from Arsenal fans again that I'm a hater. I don't want to hear it because I told you so. My favorite words to say are, I told you so. Frauds, the lot of ya. I told you Arsenal were a lie, and well, you saw it. You saw it. We'll talk about Arsenal a little bit later. Where I was wrong, the Box loss to England was no good. It lacked everything that we've been brilliant at over the last 18 months. There was no discipline. Ultimately, we lost our structure and discipline at the end there. We really should have wrapped that up. We should have kicked that ball off, right? And that should have gone to... That kick goes deep. We tackle them and we say, all right, England, can you run 90 meters? And then the rest was just a shambles. Then we're giving away penalties in the danger zone, which means we don't trust our defense. And those are the moments where the very best teams. But what it tells you is we're in a transition phase. I'm excited that Springbok Rugby is in a place where we are unhappy about losing by 1 point. So happy, not happy. But I was wrong. I thought we'd blow England away. Where I was right, Dallas Cowboys are basically the Arsenal of the NFL. Frauds. Listen, Dak Prescott ain't the guy. They paid him $75 million this year. $75 million. The second closest at $25 million is Tom Brady. It's crazy. You shouldn't have paid Dak. I told you. Listen, Dak's not good enough to get you to where you want to be. You could have let him go, taken a quarterback in the draft, and gone to exactly wherever Dak's going to take you. Frauds, basically the Arsenal of the NFL. They lost 19-9 to the Chiefs. It's embarrassing. Dak looked awful. Awful. And by the way, the Kansas City Chiefs defense has been awful. It's been horrendous this season. Arsenal. Dallas Cowboys, same WhatsApp group. Where I was wrong, Man United are still in denial. Man United in denial. Let me tell you what I mean by that. I thought that Ollie would have been kicked out, and it's just been a disaster over the last 18 months. But instead, they've rolled out the red carpet, which has made it weird for everybody. I just want to say this. I don't think it's a hot take to say the following. Please stop calling Ollie a Man United legend. Stop now. Like it's enough. Folks, he was an excellent, outstanding substitute off the bench. But when you say the word legend, now you're putting him in the same category as Eric Cantona, David Beckham, Gary Neville. Ollie's not a Man United legend. Stop this narrative. Because if Ollie's a Man United legend, then Fabio Grosso is an Italy legend. He scored a penalty to win it in the World Cup final. Please don't do that. Ollie is not a Manchester United playing legend. He's just somebody who was excellent off the bench. I'm sorry, like this dumb narrative must stop now. And it's all because of one night, right, in 99 in the Champions League final. But is Divock Origi now a Liverpool legend because of what he did to get them to the Champions League win that which they had? No. Nobody thinks Divock Origi is a Liverpool legend just because of what he did. Like, stop it. Vladimir Smicer is not a Liverpool legend because of what happened in Istanbul, right? Stop. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, it is weird. It is so weird. And Man United fans are in denial that Ollie's situation got so ugly. I don't know why it got ugly. Just fire the guy. Who cares what he did as a player? Unless Man United are an NGO now. And let's all hug it out and kumbaya in a circle. Let's finish off with where I was right. Listen, Australia's a country of winners, aren't they? Australia's a country of winners. T20 world champions. A terrible red card, which I don't believe was a red card. Doesn't matter, we're going to beat Wales with 14 men. That red card, by the way, in the rugby, was after 15 minutes. Rugby's hard enough 15 on 15. Australia are a country of winners. I don't know what it is. Everyone thought that Sandpaper Gate would finish the Australian cricket team. Didn't we all think that? I was there. I was literally in Cape Town for that game. And I thought, Australia's over. Look at this. I mean, Smith is crying. David Warner's crying like a little baby. But they're back. David Warner, that innings in a final. Ricky Ponting-like. I don't know what it is about Australians. Maybe you got to have prisoners as descendants to be tough. I don't know what it is. But they're a bunch of winners. And we'll finish off with where I was wrong. Fabinho is a savage, isn't he? If you're an Arsenal fan, let me tell you something that happened. All right? Lokonga and Thomas Partey got taken to school about how to run the midfield by one man. He had them all on. Then Odegaard came on and he said, here's my pocket. Get in here as well. Fabinho's a savage. If Fabinho could stay fit, I think we could start to talk about him as one of the best in the world. I've always said this, my only problem with guys like that, availability is the greatest ability, and I'm starting to see too many injuries from Fabinho now in order for him to really get into that Michael Essien conversation, Steven Gerrard conversation, where I can say, you're a part of the elite. It's important that Fabinho gives me 2-3 seasons on the run, and then we can start talking about him as a Tony Kroos in that level. But he's a savage. I was wrong. He's a savage. Fabinho is a savage. And if you're an Arsenal fan, go and rewatch that game. He had the whole midfield on lock. Lokonga, welcome to big school, pal. That's where I was right. That's where I was wrong. Fabinho, savage, huh, Jimbo?
Very big fan of Fabinho.
Yeah.
I think it's been a while since we've had a holding midfielder that can do such.
Yeah. Who was the last one you had? Mascherano, huh?
Yeah, I was about to say probably Zabi Alonso or Mascherano.
Yeah, Mascherano was... If he had some better players, you guys should have done something with that team.
But that's the thing. After we won that 2005 Champions League, he just Rafa Benitez started selling all of them.
Well, that's because the owners, remember that Gillette and what's his name, those guys were actually like scamsters. And then that's when John W. Henry eventually came and took over. It took a while. Remember, you guys were about to go into administration. I don't know if you know that.
I have no idea.
No, those guys were scamsters, full on. It was a really precarious situation for Liverpool. Gillette and I forget what the other guy's name is.
And look at us now, huh?
Yeah, John W. Henry with his supermodel wife. Who knew? Hey, James, you look like a little bit like you could age to become John W. Henry. With the glasses.
Thank you.
Oh, he's got a supermodel wife. He's a billionaire. What do you want? He owns the Boston Celtics. The Red Sox.
My grandfather actually said to me today. I mean, not today. Sorry, the other day. He said, he said, James is either gonna. They always thought James is either gonna grow up in a cardboard box,
Yeah.
or become so very rich that he's not even gonna know what to do with all of his money. So
So nothing in between.
yeah.
But why do they think you're going to grow up in a cardboard box? Were you a terrible child?
Well, school wasn't my vibe.
Oh, so was your is your grandfather like a hard-nosed guy? Like what is this bum doing kind of thing?
No, just he's no, he's not like a hard-nosed guy.
Yeah.
Just a different generation.
Just a straight talker though.
Yeah.
Like like because you didn't take your education seriously, you're going to be a bum.
Yeah.
Listen, you still got plenty of time to deliver on that promise. So let's not discount it. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I want that to happen to you, but you got lots of time to move into a box on the street.
It's not gonna happen.
And like, I also want to be clear. Like, you know how when people talk about these conversations, before we go to a break, I just want to say this. I would not give you a cent if I saw you. Oh, I would be like, oh, look at that bum James. He had all the chances in the world.
I'll never end up in a cardboard box. My chakras are too aligned.
Oh, my Lord. Okay. It's the MKT show. We're done. It's a break now. Oh, my gosh. I definitely fake my own death just to see what my friends think of me. I'm that kind of person. Like, we all got to accept who we are, you know? We all got to accept who we are. Neil Kylander, who is not the Highlander, says, James adding some class to the show with that shirt. Now, I don't know what shirt James is wearing. I actually haven't really seen him this morning. I'm guessing, what is it? Are you wearing a Saints shirt, Liverpool shirt? What a... I mean, your third kit is terrible, by the way. Liverpool's third kit looks like a cricket kit. Everyone thinks it's swag. I absolutely can't stand it.
It is actually the one kit that is constantly out of stock when I go to like Total Sports or Sports Scene or wherever.
Uh-huh.
Because sometimes I honestly just go into the stores just to look at their shirts.
Yeah.
just to look at the football shirts. And it is that cream one is the one kit that is constantly out of stock.
It's terrible. People have absolutely terrible taste. Robin Badger in the comments. By the way, if you are watching, joining for the first time, please do click like. Let's see if we can get those likes up. Obviously, the algorithm, got to try and trick it. I don't know if you can trick computers. I really don't know how coding works. Did Python in high schools, computer science. Ugh, man, tough. Robin Badger says, James, I want to do a high fade on you when you in town. Now, high fade, presume that's a hairstyle. As you can see, I'm just Baldy McBaldylocks here, so I don't really know what cool styles are, like high fade, low fade, whatever fade, you know what I mean?
I have no idea. What goes...
I know what a fade is, but I don't know what's a high fade, low fade, mixed fade, a fader. We work in audio, so you can have a fader as well.
It could be self-explanatory, but it could also be the opposite way around, right? So it could be like a high fade because it's high this way.
Yeah.
But then it could also be the other way around. It's high this way. So I don't know.
So yeah, is it shorter, higher? Like
exactly, yeah.
Like is the fade fading?
Yeah.
Like high into your head.
That's what I'm saying. So also, when you're in town, I don't know where town is. So.
Oh. I mean, what are the places you're likely to be in South Africa? The Eastern Cape or here? So I'm guessing Robin either lives here or the Eastern Cape, I think is probably what she means. Like let's, I mean, you don't have to be Sherlock Holmes. By the way, I love Guy Ritchie. Not good what they did with Robert Downey Jr. There.
What did they do with Robert Downey Jr.?
Have you seen Sherlock Holmes?
No.
Yeah, it's with Jude Law. I mean, you might like it. But have you seen the British one with Cumberbatch?
I have seen that one. I haven't seen the new remake one with Robert Downey Jr.
Well, no, it's not new. I mean, that was years ago. It was Blockbuster. They did 3, James, by the way.
What, the Robert Downey Jr. one?
Yeah, Sherlock Holmes, though. Robert Downey Jr. is a real person in real life.
Yeah, I know.
What we talk about now is Sherlock Holmes, which is a fictional... So he's a detective.
No, but I thought the one that Robert Downey Jr. did was like a remake of like the older ones.
I don't know what you mean. Yes, it's a remake of the older ones because they are old, and that happened to just happen to come up.
So how are you confused? I asked you the remakes of Robert Downey Jr. and then you went Robert Downey Jr. is a real person, which I'm aware of, and it's a movie. And
so but what are you saying now? This makes no sense. So you're saying, is it a remake of the older ones?
That's exactly what I asked.
So, but which older ones? I don't know if you're aware of this, but
Robert
Sherlock
Downey Jr. one.
Yes.
The remakes of the older Sherlock Holmeses.
But which one? There's been about 10 renditions, is what I'm saying.
I didn't know that there were that many, though.
Oh, but do you know Sherlock Holmes is a pretty big deal?
Yes.
Like, it didn't start with...
Yes.
There hasn't been... It's not like... It didn't come out with the first iPod. Sherlock Holmes is...
Yeah, but I didn't know there were like 10 versions.
No, you're joking. I know
ones.
you're joking. I know you're joking.
I swear. No, I knew. I know it's quite an old story, but I didn't know that there were like 27 of them.
Maybe more. Like Sherlock Holmes. I got to Google it, right? Is Sherlock Holmes... Let's see when the original story...
Also, isn't the one with Robert Downey Jr. more like satirical?
I'm not sure you know what satirical means.
I do.
Okay, so the original Sherlock Holmes stories, right, written in 1887. I think they might have redone it a couple of times since then.
Yeah, probably a few times.
So that's what... Do you see now why your question was... what are we doing here?
Yeah, but the question was asked without that knowledge.
Yeah, but that's your problem. You got to know... what?
Okay, we're dwelling on one thing here. What was the point of Sherlock Holmes?
I think it was to get to the bottom of the cases. Or do you mean now talking about Sherlock Holmes? Because I don't know what you're asking me there. Again, are you saying what was the point of him writing the stories? Or are you saying what was the point of me bringing Sherlock Holmes up? See, now it works because now we have to investigate about Sherlock Holmes. You see how that works on 2 levels. A little bit of Inception. Very overrated movie with a man who's a C-grade actor, A-list star, Leonardo DiCaprio. Inception. Inception.
This was fun, huh?
Yeah. No, it's good to have you in town, James. You should get a high fade while you're here.
We're a little bit rusty. Us two going back and forth, huh? Don't you think?
I think I'm doing great. I think you're the problem here.
I am the problem. You're right.
No,
I'm often the problem.
No, well, I'm not willing to comment on that. That sounds more personal. I'm just saying.
Well,
in this
no comment is a comment. I'm just saying.
Oh, I said I'm not willing to comment on your personal life. I'm saying in terms of the show, you're definitely the problem. Yes, of that, I want to leave that in no doubt. I don't want you wondering. I don't want you going home tonight. I wonder if no, it definitely wasn't me. Definitely wasn't me. It's something I want to. In the break, I got a message, James, about the funeral thing. Got a WhatsApp. You want to hear it?
Sure.
So basically, this person is saying, how come nobody does themed funerals? Like a 60th, you know? Like, no, why does nobody say...
How would you theme of... What would your options for a theme of a funeral be?
I don't know. You're shooting the messenger. Like, what would it be? Like, why don't they just serve candy? We could have like a Candyland. You know what I mean? Kind of like your sort of... I mean, kind of like your anti-sad funeral where you're saying, it's kind of where we got married. Okay, we're already sad. Let's just make it a Candyland theme. You know what I mean? Like, why is it black? Why aren't people wearing like luminous colors? Because we're already sad. Me wearing a black suit doesn't make me more or less sad. Like, no, my friend James died. I'm sad about that. Let's prep it up a bit. Maybe we play some Pitbull at the wedding instead of an organ player.
Imagine like a wedding with.
I mean, listen. I'm also like people are sensitive to death, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, does it make me? Am I less sad because Pitbull's pumping instead of an organ player?
I think that's when it becomes like more of a considerate thing.
For who? So, okay, here we go. Let me ask you a better question. Like, at a wedding, at a funeral, who should we consider the most? So let's say, James, you're married to person X. Let's call them Madeline for now, okay? You're married to Madeline. James, you tragically die. What happened? It was vibes, bro. Vibes get you killed, right? Boom.
The vibes were so high, I got killed.
How'd he die? And also, like, you got to go, you know, when you're signing the papers or whatever with the, I don't know, like the commissioner. Like, welcome, Mr. Ilsley, Miss Ilsley. Cause of death. I can't do an impression of your mom, but... No, I can't do an impression of your mom because people might know her. I don't want it to be... Okay, anyway, let's just imagine it's your mom. She just has normal... I think I've done an impression of your mom before.
No, you haven't. You do keep using her name though, for some reason, as the.
Well, it's a generic white lady name, right?
Yeah.
It is very generic. Okay, it's very generic.
No, there's more generic names than that.
For whiteys, for white ladies. What's the whitest female name in the world? Because you can't even say Gwendolyn or whatever. There's a lot of like black people are out here being Petunia, and you know what I mean. So those super, super, super colonial names, like a Zimbabwean folks and a lot of black folks in the hood, Petunia now. Like, what happened now? How did you become Innocentia? You know what I mean? So what's a super, super, just like Taylor with a Y?
Karen.
Yeah.
Karen has to be the...
No, Karen, yeah. Karen's the final level.
Yeah.
But what about Taylor with a Y? No, Taylor with an A.
Yeah, Taylor with an A.
Taylor with an A is super, like Chakra Mom. She's got that ankle bracelet that's made of material and it's multicolored. Only walks with no shoes in the forest. You know what I mean? So,
I was gonna say another name, but I know a person with this name. So.
Oh no! Now you have to say it. Now you have to say it. That's more reason to say it.
I don't have to do anything.
But say it. So, white lady name in the world.
Jessica.
Nah, there's lots of black Jessicas. Jessica Mutawu.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah, no, Jessica's very much the blacks who sound like Watts like me will jump on Jessica pretty early. You know what I mean? It's not, that one's not exclusive. But Taylor with a Y and an A.
Zero to Zenful says Susan. Susan.
No. Ususan ukhona eKasi. No. There's Susan in the hood.
Oh, even Welcome.
And to be,
even Welcome was disciplined.
No. And it's not Susan in the hood, by the way. Suzanne.
How much?
Yeah. Suzanne, yeah. Yeah. That's very, very different. Like, it's like white guys, Godfrey. In the hood, Godfrey. Yeah. And these things are important.
Welcome
right?
said that with you. As you said.
No, because you know what I mean.
Tracy Bart says Tiffany, Kylie, or is that
Kylie is the whitest girl name in the world.
Kylie, huh?
Kylie, that is the one. That is exclusive.
I know a Kylie actually.
White,
Yeah.
of course. That one. Who said that?
Tiffany Bard. I mean Tracy Bard. Sorry, I read the name Tiffany. Sorry, Tracy Bard.
No, Tiffany's also super corks.
Well, yeah, that's what Tracy said. Tiffany, Kylie, or Tyler.
Tyler, yes. Yeah. But Tiffany, what? Kylie. Kylie is, sure, that
Kylie,
is corks to the limit.
Do you think it's spurred on by a certain person in the public eye who is the image of
Caucasianness.
white girls internationally? With the same name.
Are you talking about the Aussie lady?
No, I'm talking about one of the Kardashian clan members.
Oh boy. No. I think before that, it's just there's certain things that belong to each of our tribes in the world, and Kylie is just one of those that she's definitely complaining about her yoga teacher being late with her own bamboo cup with the wheat straw bag that she's got her dog inside. You know what I mean?
She's drinking her goat milk.
Yeah, goat milk, skim milk. It's goat skim milk.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
it's low fat oat milk.
Yeah.
Hold the milk.
That's exactly what. Like, why do you drink that? Makes my skin glow. What do you mean? Yeah, those types. Neil Kylander, again, not the Highlander. It's very, very confusing to say it. Neil, if you could just change your surname, that'd be great. He says Magdalene, aka Mamegi. Now, I don't know if he's saying that's a white girl name because Umegi is very black.
No, I think that's what he's saying.
Oh, Mamegi. Yeah. No, there's Magdalene. That one, yeah. That's a Swiss Army knife. Across the board. All right, let's talk about a guy from Norway. By the way, Man United have a Champions League game tonight. It is incredible. I just want to say this up front. I'm already Carrick in. I don't need to see anything. I want to tell all Man United fans, Carrick in for life right now. I don't need to see a game. I don't need to hear it. I don't need to hear his interviews. He's already said I'm here for as long as they need. So I'm ahead of it. Hashtag Carrick in for life. And for the 4 is a number, by the way. I'm not doing the FOR because I'm cool, I'm young, I'm hip. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is no longer the Manchester United manager, right? But before we get into that let me just tell you something that I've learned in my life where I've made enormous mistakes, particularly in my late teens and 20s. It was just packed with, the great Warren Buffett says, mistakes are not the problem, right? What you have to avoid is having disasters. And I had disaster after disaster after disaster. So in my teens, let's just say I was a little dynamic, and it affected my entire 20s because I just kept making, what happened was I made a bad decision, and then I followed that by making another bad decision, and then it sort of snowballs, and you start making terrible decision after terrible decision after terrible decision through a series of unfortunate events, which I caused myself and most people cause themselves. The one thing you cannot do in life, once you've made a bad decision, the next move cannot make that bad decision worse. You can't make the situation worse with the choice after a bad decision. If you marry a bad husband, the worst thing you can do is buy a house with him. The worst thing you can do is, like, if you know your husband has gambling problems within the first 6 months of the marriage, don't buy a second property with him. When you make a bad decision, do not let the next decision make it worse. Folks, I want to explain something about the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer situation, right? If Jose Mourinho and Louis van Gaal, two of the greatest football managers of all time, couldn't be mediocre at Man United, right? Jose came second and you told him to get out of there. But it was a mess. It was a shambles from the beginning. What you should have known after Jose and Louis van Gaal was that the United situation is a disaster. Getting Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was a disaster in the first place. But once you do that, you have to now see it out. Because the worst thing you could do is what Manchester United have done now. I just want to explain this situation. Michael Carrick is the interim manager, while Man United look for an interim manager so that Man United can go and get a manager. I'll say it slowly for those of you that, didn't get it. Michael Carrick is an interim manager, 12 games into the season, so that Manchester United can go and get an interim manager, so that Manchester United can go and employ a manager. So they have to employ 3 managers to replace Ole. That's what's going to happen at Manchester United this season. They're going to have 3 more managers this season. That's what's going to happen. It is an incredible set of circumstances. Like, your core job is to have a manager if you're the executive team. The core job, you have one job. Forget about the rest, employ a manager. How do you not have 5 or 6 ready to go at all times at Man United? It's embarrassing. Chelsea are making you look bad. Man City are making you look bad. This is a disaster. This is an absolute disaster. Because here's why it's a disaster, by the way. Man United need to accept something. And I said it before the season. They're not making top 4. Right? If there's any hope of a chance of top 4, it was with Ole. These are his players. He knows who's already in and out. I mean, he's out. Ole's no longer at the wheel. But if you're going to make top 4, that's how you do it. Now you're out of the top 4, and now you want Zinedine Zidane. Now you want Ancelotti. Now you want these guys to take you seriously. Zidane's not coming to Europa League. He's not coming to a Europa League team. And listen, the way it's headed now, right? Because what they're hoping for is a new manager bounce. The way it's headed now, Manchester United could be outside of the conference places. Listen, you saw Tottenham. You saw what that second half looked like on the weekend. So, folks, I don't get it. I don't get it. Paul Pogba's going to be out. I mean, you probably should have gotten rid of him. Are you telling me you couldn't see after LVG, after Mourinho, that Pogba and co are the problem? Come on now. Folks, I always say this, right? I will forgive somebody. And I come from a home of divorce, so I'm very comfortable talking about divorce. Fortunately, my parents are very civil human beings. Maybe they just keep it all in and it turns into an ulcer. They stress about the divorce. But I don't know. They've never made it my problem, which is great. I will forgive you your first divorce. Right? I will always forgive your first divorce. You made a mistake. We're human beings. Show me somebody who's perfect and I'll show you a liar. I'll forgive your second divorce. She had kids. You had kids. The dynamic didn't work. You had some baggage. She had some baggage. It just didn't work. The third divorce is a you problem. I'll forgive Man United, right? For David Moyes. I'll forgive you for Louis van Gaal. But when you get divorced from Jose Mourinho, that's a Man United problem. This idea that it was Ole was going to come and solve anything, Jose was going to come and solve anything, what you didn't take into account, folks, it's a Man United problem. It's rotten at the core, and it's got nothing to do with the ownership because they spend money. Stop telling me it's the Glazers. This Glazers out is nonsense. Something's wrong in the operational side. Somebody, a mentor of mine once told me, if you get a good COO in business, you hang on to the most difficult thing in business is operations. Man United and Arsenal are finding that out. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Goal, by the way, a fantastic logo on Instagram or Twitter. Say, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the first Manchester United manager post Sir Alex Ferguson not to win a trophy. You know what you should do with a guy who is the first guy not to win a trophy? Yeah, you give him the red carpet treatment on the way out. Hey, Jose, Louis van Gaal, you guys, you won us trophies. We hate that. Get out of here. We know. Get out of here. Why are they giving Ollie an exit interview that's softening his image? Stop telling me Ollie's a legend. I've been watching football since I was 6 years old. I know what a Man United legend is. Dennis Irwin is a Man United legend. Do not dare put Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the same sentence as Dennis Irwin, as Steve Bruce, as Gary Pallister, as Paul Ince, as Roy Keane. Folks, if I have to debate whether you're a legend or not, you're not a legend. Legends are certified. Frank Lampard, when I say that to you, legendary. Steven Gerrard, legendary. Pavel Nedved, legendary. If you have to think about legend, he's not a legend. Ollie is an icon, maybe, at best. Stop the narrative of he's a Man United legend. You can spew that nonsense as much as you like. What it tells me is United have no spine. They should have got rid of Ollie. Get out of here. This is mediocrity. It's madness. And what it tells you, if you're a Man United fan, the way Ollie has exited should worry you even more. Because what it tells you is that the people making decisions are more worried about being liked and PR than the bottom line, which is what? Winning. Winning. The priority at Manchester United is no longer winning. Sir Alex Ferguson was famous for being disliked by everybody. Ask any fan for the last 15 years what they think of Fergie. Can't stand him. You know why? Because nobody likes a winner. People like Man United now. We liked Ollie as opposition fans. That should worry you as Man United. Lindogutle says, the prodigal son returns to Man United. Management starts to leave. How sad is this? It's what happens though. It's what happens once it's a mess. It's shambolic. It is shambolic. If it is your first time joining us, remember, please do subscribe. We're on our road to 1,000 subscribers. I believe we're on 850 as it stands. So 150 to go. If you want to maybe create some fake accounts, do that so you can subscribe. If, I don't know, if 150 people create one each, or 50 people create 3, that's fake. And maybe you could even start a side hustle. You could be a scammer on the side, send emails about people winning $1 million. All they need to do is send you their PIN. Maybe you could do that as a side hustle while you subscribe to us across the platforms. All right, the MKT Show. On the other side, James will tell us what's happening on social media, the thing I trust the most on earth. It's the MKT Show. I'm not a white guy. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being a white guy. I'm just, I need to make it clear because people DM me and say, oh, when I saw you for the first time, I was quite shocked because you sound like a white guy. So, I'm not a white guy. James, I'm not a white guy.
You're too fly.
It's pretty fly. That's Offspring now.
Pretty tooty fly. What just happened?
The remix you put together there. Although now that I've corrected you about Offspring, the Offspring, that doesn't help my case for not being a white guy.
Do you need a case for not being a white guy, or?
Well, I feel like I do. Like a lot of people, not a lot, but I mean a few people, every now and then it pops up. It's like, oh, bro, thought you were a white guy. Well, they don't even say the brew part. They're just like, oh, you're not a white guy.
You do sound like a white guy.
I do have a bit of a... What must I do, though? I was born in the northern suburbs of... I was born in Emalahleni, but I moved here, you know? And then my dad lived in Finland.
You don't got to do anything. You just got to live your best life and
just
continue to drink your pretentious coffee and...
Well, what's that? That's a bit of a personal dig there.
Well,
I thought you were on my side, and then you turned it around a little bit at the end there. Like you thought this is your chance to have a personal dig.
Well, no,
You slid it in there, a bit of a Trojan horse, if you will.
No, it's only because I know that coffee's part of you living your best life.
Yeah, so but I mean, it's kind of like a little bit like, you know, I sorry, but with that, inside that message of sorry and empathy, yeah, you're a little bit of a douchebag. You know what I mean?
It's true, I am.
No. You're saying I'm a douchebag. Is what like it's kind of like giving me sort of slow poison. You know what I mean? Like, it helps me with my headache, but eventually it's going to kill me. That's what you've done there. Instead of just giving me a Panado or whatever. You know what I mean?
Well, we're all going to die one day. So.
No, that's very, very true. And hopefully it doesn't get confusing because your wedding was in a grave. So that can be tricky. See, that's the thing. Maybe we just get married above ground, huh?
Keep it all
above ground.
Board.
Above board. Listen, do you ever... I mean, while we're on the wedding marriage vibes. Now, listen. Right, we had a great comment just now, James. I don't know who that was. Sorry, the white guy thing came to me as we came in here. Sounded like a what? There's nothing wrong with being a white guy, by the way. Just so you know.
Well, I mean, that's what you're making it sound like.
No, now I realize, but I'm not a white guy. Is what I'm saying. So please don't take this as a comment on being a white guy. What I'm saying is, and I choose my words very carefully, so please don't paraphrase me. hear what I say, not what you want me to say. I am not a white guy.
It's true.
Yeah, so, okay, that's just all I wanted to say.
That was fun. We should do that again.
0 to Zenful says, make accounts of you for your split personalities. Listen, you know what, if you do have the split personalities, welcome to the show, all of you.
Have you seen them?
You like that, James?
That's not okay.
I mean, you know what I mean? And to be clear, bipolar and multiple personalities is not the same thing, just so people know.
Have you seen the movie Split?
No.
Very good.
Well, who are you to say? Who's in it? I mean, you've barely seen any movies, so...
It's true.
Who's in it? Give me the synopsis.
Even Lulama asked just now, have I seen any movies?
Yeah, I don't think... Like, you've only seen the vibe stuff. You haven't seen anything, like...
No, it's because...
I can't talk to you about movies.
I'm not going to watch... I was going to swear. I'm not going to watch stuff that, like, doesn't interest me. Like, I won't watch anything that... If I'm bored...
Yeah?
I'm uninvested, and it's the worst 2 hours of my life. That's why I can't watch any of the... Like Vikings and The 100 and Game of Thrones, that just type of stuff irritates me. I'm bored. I don't want to do it.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. Vikings is Ragnar Lothbrok. I met that guy. Travis, whatever his name is.
Is it the?
He's an Australian bloke.
Really?
Yeah. The guy who plays Ragnar Lothbrok is Australian. Travis something, man. I forget what his surname is. Yeah, I met him in Cape Town Studios. He was, I don't know if they were filming Vikings or another, no, they were filming another movie and I just happened to be doing some work there. And a friend of mine was working on the movie he was on. So we hung out for a little bit, shot the breeze with him. Pretty cool. He's got full Aussie accent, ma. All right, mate. Say, walla bing bong, mate. You were the Viking Ragnar Lothbrok, mate.
Yeah.
So you haven't seen Vikings at all?
No. My stepdad and my brother love it, and they always WhatsApp each other saying there's a new episode or blah, blah.
Your older brother, I haven't seen the new stuff. I think I stopped watching it season 4, but your older brother, obviously, he's a history major, isn't he? He's doing his master's in history, isn't he?
Yes. Yeah, so he's heavily into the whole history things, and I had to watch a lot of how World War II, black and white, blah, blah.
See, it's your vibes thing. You don't like anything sort of educational. As soon as it becomes hard work, you're not into it.
No, that's not it.
In terms of that,
no,
yeah.
I love educating myself.
Like what? Take us into it. About what? Educating yourself about what? Okay, James, you like educating yourself. Take us into it, Paul. Like,
wow.
Yeah, you see,
like a wide range of things. So
like what?
With a lot of the softwares that I actually know, except for like video editing.
Yeah,
I learned by myself. Like Photoshop, I learned completely by myself during the first hard lockdown last year.
Yeah, which is awesome.
And then like I sometimes like listening to podcasts or watching YouTube videos.
Philosophy podcasts. I know that's your thing. That was about 15 minutes of your life, and you were like, I'm so into it now. I don't think you've ever listened to another one again. I think you listened to one.
What are we talking about here? The psychology stuff.
Yeah, psychology stuff.
I think I don't know what you would call it, but it's less psychology and more like
vibes. Vibes.
Would it be like the human condition? I don't know.
No, human condition, very much a philosophical topic, yeah.
But I listened to a podcast called the Duncan Trussell Family Hour.
Okay.
And he does these interviews with like his psychologist or his like mom. There's also one that he does with Rainn Wilson, who's an actor. He does interviews with all of these like doctors or whatever, and it's like super interesting stuff about the human condition. Pretty cool.
Thing about education though, James, is actually it can't just be stuff you're comfortable with, because most of the time you probably know the stuff. So when I'm saying education, I'm talking about like, I don't know, biology, genetics, history. Because, I mean, it is pretty awesome what you can do with graphics and boom, boom, boom and Adobe. you're pretty hectic at that stuff. But I mean, especially the human condition, you'd probably want to know. So you're thinking, what, World War II? Who cares how it went down? That was so long ago, anyway.
Honestly.
Oh, okay.
I apologize if this offends anyone, but watching a history documentary, I cannot think of anything more boring in my life.
So just history in general, like in your mind, you're just like, why do we care about stuff that happened so long ago? Is that what you're thinking?
I understand why we get taught it.
But what do you see any use for knowing? Okay, let me give you an example. So some people believe 6,000 years ago, whatever you may call the spirit above, just, I don't know, snapped the finger and we were here. That's what some people believe, give or take 6,000. Other people believe the world is about 13.1 billion years old. Our planet in particular, somewhere between 2 and 5 billion years old. We don't know exactly, but people say around 4 billion years old, give or take what studies you're reading. About 6,000 years ago, if you believe in evolution and the moment of creation, or the Big Bang Theory, which is a terrible show but an excellent theory. I'm actually very fortunate to have had a situation work out where I worked at the Large Hadron Collider for a little bit. Well, I was data captured, please. They're real scientists. I was just the idiot sitting in the corner. But if you believe in that, 6,000 years ago, we believe that the agricultural revolution happened. James, do you think there's any use in us knowing that information? Or you're just like, that's so long ago, we got tractors I can control with an app now.
So I feel like I have to rephrase what I said.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I do love the history of certain things. Like I, for some reason, I remember the magazine I read it in, but I read it once and it's stuck in my head forever and ever. Amen.
Okay.
Right? I don't know why, but it's just always. I know that the first FIFA World Cup was in 1930.
Okay.
In, I think, Uruguay, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, go ahead.
Why I know that, I'm not sure. So like certain things are very interesting to me when it comes to history.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to like the really in-depth stuff around World War One,
mm-hmm.
about how in 1971 on the 3rd of September, Sergeant Wilcox drove his Jeep Wrangler into one of the German trenches.
No Jeeps in America then.
And there was actually an explosion.
No Jeeps in Europe then, yeah.
And,
No Jeeps in Europe.
Oh, sorry. He drove his
Land Rover, more likely, yeah.
Tank?
Yeah, tank, Land Rover, more like, or whatever the predecessor to Land Rover.
He drove it into a ditch and killed a whole bunch of...
When did you say? 19?
In 1930. Wait. 19. I know World War II was 40.
No, you don't know. You don't know. You're wrong. You don't know already.
Wait.
You have no idea.
I know the rough periods. Like Cold War was more like 1960 kind of vibes.
Okay, what happened in the Cold War?
Then World War II was like 45-ish, I think.
Till when? 45 till when?
It could have ended in 45. I don't know. I just know 1945 is a big date. I know.
Okay. Anything come out of World War II? What happened afterwards?
There was an Iron Curtain at some point.
What's that? Whoa. That's interesting. What's the Iron Curtain?
It was the communist line across Europe.
Okay.
So it's
who's the guy?
Two, and then it was all the communists, and then you can't call them diplomats.
No. I would suggest Adolf and that bunch were certainly not diplomatic. No.
What would you call them?
Tyrants and Nazis.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It was the communists, and then what was on the other side, like the UK and France and
the Allies.
No, but what would you call them?
No, the Allies. No. It's not what I'm calling them. James, listen to what I'm saying. I'm not calling them that. When you read a book, It's America and the Allies.
No, I know they're referred to as the Allies.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is, we call that group of people communists,
Yes.
right? We don't call them like the enemy. What would be the... I know they call it that.
Yes.
What would be the correct term?
For...
Communists, and then the...
Are you speaking economically? Because the word...
Yes.
Okay, so it would be capitalist would be the opposite.
There you
If
go.
you're talking economically, although... But it's not true, because some of the other side was socialist. France, socialist. So... yeah, you'd have to... The correct... But James, you see, this is where it's important to read, when you're in a conversation like this. The term is allies.
No, but I know they're the Allies, but I was trying to get the other term.
Other time.
Anyway, what was the point of this?
So World War II was 1945.
Like 45-ish, 41,
that's when
45-ish.
that's when it ended. 39 to 45. World
How
War
much?
II. 1939 to 45.
There you go. And then World War
Not good.
One ended in 1936.
What? Really?
I don't know.
I mean, so what? You're in. You see, you should be into movies because
So this is how it was in high school, right?
this
so
is incredible.
in the lower grades where they started teaching us about like World War One and stuff, I found that stuff really boring. But then as like we went through the grades and did World War Two and the Cold War, like that's where I started paying attention more and actually being interested. But in my free time, I don't elect to want to watch how the British invaded Eastern Europe.
What's weird? I mean, didn't happen. That didn't happen. See, you're on a show that didn't. The British did not invade Eastern Europe. That didn't happen. That was the Germans. Well, Hitler tried, but as you know, only too well, of course, as he went onto the front. And so problem is he stretched himself too many fronts, and he went in Stalingrad, famously, where things ended, went a little pear-shaped. So for the Russians, and I know this is very boring because it might actually be something you can actually use in your life, unlike the date of the World Cup, which is absolutely meaningless. So what happened was Hitler tried to fight a war on two fronts, and what he didn't take into account was, number one, the vastness of Russia, and the other thing they always say, so if you hear, if I mean you won't, but for people who are interested, maybe might light a fire in somebody's eyes, is that in Russia they always say Russian army's best friend and the greatest generals for the Russian army is Captain December and Captain January, and by that they mean the weather. And Hitler didn't take that into account. And as he pushed on in Stalingrad, his soldiers were starving, and then he also many of them didn't have things like summer uniforms. They were exhausted after fighting on other fronts, obviously, and then things went a little pear-shaped. And then rumor has it him and Ava had to take cyanide pills, but we don't know whether that's how he died. He was in a bunker. So
Apparently he had a bunker in South America.
what?
Apparently Hitler had a secret bunker in South America. I'm serious.
What?
I'm serious.
Who said that? Well, that sounds quite auspicious.
So that's one thing I am into, believe it or not, is conspiracy theories.
Whoa!
And that's one.
Whoa! Sorry. I thought we were doing education. See, the whole thing about conspiracy theories. See, but again, here's what you don't like. As soon as it gets a little rigid, because there's no real vibes to stuff that actually happened, you don't like that because you want to express yourself a little bit, right? You're saying, hey, I've just told you something that actually happened. That's boring. No, who cares about that? Conspiracy theories. All right. So when did Hitler go to South America, though?
I don't know. He had a bunker.
But when? Like, okay, but
It was. I don't know when it was agreed upon, but he apparently had this like a bunker somewhere in the world that he was gonna use, that was built towards the end of the whole nuking the entire planet.
didn't happen.
I know, but towards the end, he saw that he had stretched himself too thin, apparently. Okay, and then he had this bunker constructed, and apparently he killed him. Well, nobody knows if he killed himself in the bunker or he, yeah,
This is unbelievable.
yeah, real stuff.
Not
No,
a
no,
real
no.
thing.
No, sorry, I apologize. Not real stuff.
So he was in a bunker at the end.
Yeah, Apparently.
Where?
I didn't ask him.
No, but you're saying South America. Where did that come from? Like, honestly, all the reading I've done, I don't think Hitler ever went to South America, just so you know. Because, let me tell you what was happening in Adolf Hitler's childhood and for him to become an absolute monster. Something called World War I, which he served in. And then you know what happened after that? Oh, la-di-da, I'm Adolf Hitler. I'm going back to Bavaria because I don't want to be Austrian. And some weird stuff happened in order for him to become the man he became. But then he formed a party and a bit of a rabble-rouser, and then he became one of the biggest monsters of all time. But that happened in Germany, where he then immediately incited World War II. What do you think? He's got time to pop over to Chile and go, it's a little warm here. I think I'm going to go to Paraguay and see what's happening. Forget about what's happening back home after a war we just lost, and I'm trying to become... What are you talking about? Do you see how reading would help you to immediately go, whoever told you that? That's nonsense.
I promise you, dude, check the comments. I'm not the only one that knows this. People are actually saying, so LB says a lot of Germans fled to Argentina, but no proof Hitler did.
No, we know about the German connection. That at no stage am I disputing that. There is no record of Adolf Hitler ever going to South America because, listen to what I'm saying. Stuff that actually happened. I know it's boring, right? I know it's super boring. But he started his life in Austria, right? Basically raised in a monastery because his father kind of didn't like him. Then his mom was super religious. Dad died really early. His mom basically forced him to grow up in a monastery and get educated there. He dropped out of school, moved, I think he was in Vienna for a while, but he's a failed artist. Then he moved, and there's a big part of his late teens and early 20s we don't know about. And the rumor is that he lived as a vagrant between Bavaria and Austria, right? So we have this on record. Then he moved from there. He kind of moved into World War I as a young adult. That happened. That did not happen in South America, so there's no record of him going there. The Germans obviously lose there. That gets really ugly for them. The people who you'd call the other people, I'll call them the Allies and the Axis, because that's what we decided, or people before me who've studied this stuff decided. They were actually there, and they actually made that up at the time. And then after that, oh no, Germany, blah, blah, blah. He met some terrible people that he did terrible things with and built this party. A little bit of rabble-rousing. There was an Italian guy called Mussolini, and he's like, really like that bloke. Let me see what he's up to. Hey, ciao, Mussolini, what are you up to? Und terrible stuff you're doing there. I want to kind of replicate that here. This is all happening while he's alive in Europe. Okay, now I've got my band of terrible humans together. We're going to start something called the Nazi Party. Boom, 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 boom. World War II. When is he going to South America to build a bunker? What are you talking about?
Okay, so I'm not saying that the point of me saying the South America thing, okay, I'm not saying that I'm wholeheartely invested in it, okay? I just like conspiracy theories, and I believe that they're somewhat educational.
No, they're not. They're the opposite of educational.
They are, because they allow you to not be super narrow-minded, and it opens you up to different perspectives on certain things.
This is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. James, so, oh my God.
You can only
Go ahead.
You can't be narrow-minded and follow conspiracy theories, because then you'll read one and then shut it off because, no, this is the way things work. So I like to believe I'm pretty open-minded.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you're right.
No, I'm not saying I'm right, though. I'm telling you where the conspiracy things comes in and how it's semi-educational.
How? Do you understand that the bedrock... Now, you must phone your brother after this because he's an educator. You know how we know something's educational, right? We have tests for this. Shall I tell you what we call it?
Tell me.
Empirical evidence. So people like your brother who are studying history, right? let's say they're into paleontology. Now, I don't want to explain what that is. It's a part of history. It's a field of study, a high-level field of study, right? Great scientists, by the way, paleontologists. They might go, bloody hell, these bones connect together. You know what I think? It could just be a really big person. Oh, my goodness, but look how big this person would have to be, and he's got a horn. He's showing all the symptoms of having been cold-blooded. What should we call this really big person? I feel like person's the wrong thing because I'm a person. Let's go dinosaur. Let's go dinosaur. You know what I mean? What do you think? They just felt that? Or do you think they incrementally built evidence and piled that on top of evidence they found before? Do you see how the difference there is that education is incremental compounding of evidence versus I just feel or I heard. Like this is crazy what you're saying. So you're saying, you know what, that woman can read, we should burn her, she's a witch. Why? Well, you know, if women can read, they're witches. See, that's where conspiracy theory takes you, rather than going, now, are these human beings with brains like us? What happens to them if we cut their arm? It seems to bleed. Bloody hell. The evidence suggests humans do that. Whew. Yeah, that's a person. That's not a witch. Do you see the difference between education and conspiracy theory? Because conspiracy theory is not being open-minded. Sorry, like, James, I want to cut you off there.
No, I'm not saying conspiracy theories are being open-minded. I'm saying in order to explore them,
yes,
you have to be open-minded.
No,
but you do.
Actually, if you're open-minded, let me tell you what you should do. Because conspiracy theories actually have a problem. They can never change. If you want to be open-minded, get educated. You know why? Because when you're educated and you find out new information, then you need to be open-minded. So to do science, you actually need to be open-minded. You know why? Because new evidence should change how you behave. Conspiracy theories will never change. If anything, having conspiracy theories makes you closed-minded.
How?
Because, okay, let's say I say to you, right? Okay, let's use your Hitler in Argentina. I mean, bloody hell, this is unbelievable. Hitler's in Argentina, right? Let's say we find Adolf Hitler's bones in Germany now, right? And we have the technology. You're going, nope. Sorry, the conspiracy. No, but I'm showing you empirical evidence.
No, but that's exactly what I'm saying. So I'm not saying I'm like very into believing every single conspiracy I hear. I just enjoy the whole different perspective around sort of big situations.
Okay, but conspiracy theories are not educational. Like, let's just be clear about that.
No, but they are.
No, but they're not. Because you need evidence for education. Like, how do you think doctors come up with medicine? Well, you think, hey, Johnson, how did you come up with the cure for measles? Well, you know what? I saw a tiger in the jungle, went with my nephew, and I saw the tiger look left. Well, did you? No, he's piling onto other evidence that other scientists are doing. Hey, how do we know this isn't going to murder James if I give him this? Right? Oh, evidence. We spend 15 years in a laboratory and we pile evidence together, and that's called being educational. Now that's being open-minded. You saying conspiracy theories are educational based on what? Do you understand that evidence is based on something? Like what are conspiracy theories based on? Storytelling. Like, do you understand what I'm saying here, or do I sound crazy to you? Like you're saying it's educational based on what?
I don't know. Like, I don't know. I would have to think about it, but I don't know what most conspiracies are actually based on.
See, that's really important to find out, because then you can start to ask another interesting question. Is it true? Because if it's true, it might be educational. Because now you're never asking yourself, because what you're doing is, it's interesting, I'm into it. Just because it's interesting doesn't mean it's educational or true.
No, but it is educational. Because you have to know the facts to know what the conspiracy is.
No.
Yes.
You've just shown me you didn't know the facts about Adolf Hitler. It's almost impossible that he was in South America. See, if you'd known the facts about his life, you would have just gone, oh, this is ridiculous. There's no way he was in Argentina.
Did you know there was a German colony in Argentina?
I certainly did know that. I've been to Argentina. Now,
So why would Hitler go to Argentina?
all right, I'll tell you what. When did Hitler go to Argentina?
I forgot to ask him.
No, but because, you see, if you knew that World War II was going on, right?
Okay, so
what do you think? He slipped, so here's what happened. As the Allies invaded from every side, right, closed Germany in, and he had guys on the front line, what do you think? He just snuck out on a boat.
Okay, so you think Hitler would advertise when he's sneaking out of Europe?
Oh my God.
Hitler would say, hey guys, I'm out. Sorry about this whole war thing. It was a bad idea. That's on me. I apologize.
How's he getting there, James? Let me ask you a simple question. How's Adolf Hitler in the middle of the most brutal war in history as his every major port where he is under the most insane bombardment we may have ever seen in history? Well, what do you think he's calling his G5? Like, hey, lads, here I am.
Underground tunnels and trenches were a thing that used to run for miles.
Wait a minute. So you're saying he went from Germany in Europe? This is unbelievable.
No, I'm not saying he went directly from Germany to South America underground. That's not what I'm saying.
What are you saying?
I'm saying all across Europe.
Yes.
Okay, during these wars that happened.
Yes.
There were underground tunnels and bunkers that actually stretched for miles. Education. You have to know the facts. I'm not saying I believe that Hitler went to... I'm not saying that. I'm saying...
How big are these tunnels? Because I've been in some of these so-called tunnels. So tell me in your mind, right? So I'm in Bavaria, and where do I want to go? Where do you think Hitler would have gone? Just conspiracy theory, James, let's go with it.
Wait, how do you mean, to escape?
Yeah, he's in Germany.
Well, I mean, he would probably, like...
I haven't thought about that part. See, that's the way it gets a bit tricky. Because
he would dip out to somewhere that would take him where it's less congested to be able to dip out and not die.
Less congested. So do you know what the tricky part there is for Hitler? Can I just tell you the part where it gets a little bit tricky?
Okay, go.
Everybody wants to kill Germany. He can't go anywhere because he's declared war on the world.
That's exactly why Hitler can't go, hey guys, I'm out. I'm out.
Yes.
Please don't follow me. It's a better idea to go, hey guys, we're going to leave and not tell anyone. And then you dip.
Incredible.
You can't say, I'm giving up on the war, I'm out, I'm leaving.
This is unbelievable. So okay, but you haven't told me what his escape plan was, as his country where he was under fire from everybody in the world. Britain, America, some of the other allies. So where's Hitler getting a G6? Because he can't leave from Germany, by the way, in World War II.
I mean...
So Tristan here says, conspiracy theories are educational in that they show perspective, whether right or wrong.
That's what I said.
What? No, you didn't say that.
I did. I said, if you follow conspiracies,
yes,
it opens your mind. You're not narrow-minded. You're open-minded because you're willing to explore different perspectives. That's exactly what I said. That's why I said I'm interested in conspiracy theories, because they're educational.
No, you should, just because you're interested in them, they're not educational. Because in order for something to be educational, it has to be true. See, that's the part you don't like, is that there's no vibes around that. Like, let me tell you something. It's kind of fun to think, I wonder if they were just big dogs. Nah, they were dinosaurs. We figured it out now. Do you know what I mean? Like the conspiracy theory would be, no, they're just big dogs. And I don't know, the Illuminati wants to keep that from us. That's quite cool. I kind of like that. You know what I mean? But nah, they were dinosaurs. We have the evidence now. We can pack the bones together. We can kind of figure out through a few scientific methods. They were cold-blooded. You know, they look reptilian, actually. And how do we know that? Some of their cousins survived. Like, you know what might be interesting to you? I don't know if you know who the closest cousins to, to dinosaurs are. And you don't have to be open-minded for this. Like, we've got the evidence.
Wait, was that a question?
Yeah.
Well, what was it again?
Like the closest living cousins to most dinosaurs. What would you say?
Isn't it a chicken or an alligator?
Birds.
Huh?
Birds.
Yeah. See? Nailed it.
Why did you say alligator? A chicken
Because
or... I like how you covered all your bases there.
Because it is a known fact that crocodiles, dinosaurs.
Oh, we do know that, yeah.
That is a fact. But I said chickens because I'm pretty sure I heard something about chickens and dinosaurs once. I'm not sure what it was, and I didn't say it because that wouldn't be educational.
Was it about an egg?
I don't know.
Well, chicken or the egg?
Well,
And by the way, we've
came
got an answer
first.
for that. We've got an answer for that. It's the chicken, yeah. I don't want to explain to you how we know that because you want to stay open-minded to the egg being a possibility.
No, but
You know what I mean? This has been the most incredible thing to be a part of. Conspiracy theories make you open-minded, huh? Wow.
they do.
Wow. Thank you for this, James. And now, ladies and gentlemen, you know what I work with every day. James, that was so powerful, dude. Give me a conspiracy theory. Because unfortunately for you, I do know quite a bit about history, so that's not a good one for you to muck about with. The Adolf Hitler thing to Argentina is not true, James. Can that? It's nonsense. It's complete and
That's
utter nonsense.
exactly what it is.
No, it's nonsense. What it is
being
nonsense.
narrow-minded.
No, I'm not being narrow-minded. There's evidence. Adolf Hitler was found in a bunker in Germany.
He had like 27 body doubles.
Oh my God. James, you know what we can do? Like, how do we know that you're related to your mom?
What's called a pathology test or something? Yeah.
Interesting. How do we know that birds are related to dinosaurs, do you think? Because they were born quite far apart. How do you think we know that?
Okay. So
you don't think we could...
Okay. So let's skip over Hitler because I'm not 100% clued up on history itself, right?
No, well, you've shown that.
Especially
You've shown
World
that.
War.
No, you've shown...
What about one of the most common and popular ones, the moon landing? What are we thinking there?
Well, let's hear it.
So do you know what the conspiracy about the moon landing is?
There is no conspiracy, but give me your one. Make me open-minded that it was faked.
So the conspiracy around the moon landing is that it was faked.
Okay.
Because America wanted to win the space race. Mm-hmm. So what they had done was they had filmed the Americans landing on the moon in a big studio.
Yeah.
And then televised it to the world and said, hey, we made it to the moon.
Got you.
You can't do it, Russia, because you
We did it first.
failed. Yeah.
Was there anybody else in that race, James?
China.
I think it was India, but okay, I like that you said China. See, the problem is here, you don't know what China were going through at that time. It's really, really important.
Did you know that the Americans spent billions of dollars on developing a tool to write in space while the Russians were using a pencil the whole time? Because the ink in a pen, no gravity, sorry for you. So the Russians were using pencils the whole time. And the Americans spent billions of dollars researching a new method to...
I didn't know that. I knew about the pencil, but I didn't know that. You see, that might be true. Like that's interesting because that might actually be true. That sounds like something which sounds true. And wow, this is incredible. So again, you see, it might have been handy for you to know that at the time that was all going on, a bad guy in China at the time. Do you want to know about him? It might actually be true though. So you might want to stay open-minded around it.
Wait, where are we now? Are we still on the space?
China, because you said China were in the space race, but a guy called Chairman Mao was doing some bad things there.
Was that Mao Zedong?
It was Mao Zedong.
See, I know things.
No, you don't.
I do.
No, you don't. Okay, well. Incredible. Thanks for this. Wow. I almost feel like we should end the show. I'm gobsmacked. So what? I need to be more open-minded, huh?
Yes, I'm not saying that I believe in every conspiracy ever about how, like, the Illuminati is a thing or celebrities are lizards, because
Zuckerberg.
I wish people could see what your face did there.
Incredible. All right, James. Wow. Should we take some comments? There has to be comments about some of this.
There's a lot.
Let's hear it. Yeah, let's take some comments. Let's take all of them. Forget about social media. This is wow.
Someone said, "Is the Earth flat?"
Oh, next one.
That was Zero to Zenful said, "Is the Earth flat?"
James, here we go. A conspiracy theory, open-minded, eh? Earth flat, possible, is what you're thinking.
You see, that's where it's interesting. Okay, so this is a good one, right?
No, it's not a good one.
No, it is though, because
Oh my god.
and I'll tell you. Okay, so here, right? When the evidence isn't plausible, then it's stupid. And then it's a pointless conspiracy, like celebrities being lizards.
Okay.
Okay. The
Earth being flat.
Earth people outside there, huh?
Yeah, the Earth being flat, yeah.
So, with the flat earthers, okay, they believe.
What do you believe?
I believe that the world is a spherical ball in the.
Okay, but we must be careful here because this isn't about belief. You see, this is where people who don't understand science, this is where it becomes problematic. Is like, we must stop saying belief around this. There are things, if you understand how to observe the physical world, which make it impossible for the world to be flat. But go ahead.
But that's what I'm saying, right? So this is where you do have to, with conspiracies, have to look at the evidence. Okay, so the Flat Earth Society, their argument, and I've watched a couple of things about it where they go to these conferences, right? Their argument is that if the world was this spherical ball in space, how come when we drive on like the highway, does our car not just
fall off, yeah.
Okay, so there's a little thing that was spoken about a very long time ago. I don't know if you heard of it. It's called gravity, which essentially, right? So it doesn't matter. It pulls you down.
So you're not being open-minded. So universal laws, that means you're not being open-minded. Because if you start to believe in anything like that, that's not being open-minded. You got to be open-minded. Gravity, come on. Oh man, wild world. And there are like millions, if not billions, of people who believe this stuff. Adolf Hitler died in a bunker in where? Argentina, James. Argentina, flat Earth, faked the moon landing.
Zero to Zenful says, "Is James method acting a woke conspiracist as a satire?" No.
You're being open-minded.
Yeah.
More people need to know.
Tristan says, "James is not saying he believes in conspiracy theories." That's not what I'm saying.
Is this Tristan your brother, by the way?
Huh?
Probably not, huh? He's probably at work.
No, it's not him.
It's a different Tristan, because your brother's name's Tristan. Could be him. You know?
No, it's not. No, that's not his handle thing.
And also, your brother might slightly be on my side, because he's like, oh, this is what I do every day in a university. And I never sleep. I'm trying to get a master's in stuff that we know happened, because there's empirical evidence for it. But people say ridiculous things like the man's trying to keep us down. Have you ever seen how stupid politicians are? What do you think? They're able to organize a lie that's going to go around the world? Like, Jesus.
I think
Adolf Hitler in a bunker in Argentina.
Dude, I promise you.
Like,
and it's plausible.
During World War II is one of the most awesome things I've ever heard.
It's so plausible. Just like the moon.
How did he get to Argentina? You're not able to answer that important question.
So again.
Yes. Okay, I'll tell you what. When did he go to Argentina? Okay, between 1939, where there's clear evidence of Hitler being in Germany, World War II happening, 44, where there's clear evidence he's in Germany, as the tide turns and the Russians start to cause real problems for him. When did he leave?
So, it is there's a lot of stuff around when he actually left, and that's why I said just now he had 27 body doubles, right?
Uh-huh.
So, And it's the same thing like these days with Michael Jackson. Like people think he's alive because people look like him on TikTok. And they're like, oh, that's Michael Jackson. And oh my gosh, is he alive? So it's that whole thing. And that's where it like opens your mind, because there could have been 400 different ways that Hitler could have snuck out of Germany and made it to Argentina without a single person knowing. And they are, because body doubles, the tunnels.
This is
man,
so crazy.
This man bamboozled the world.
He didn't bamboozle the world. He was actually quite clear about what he was going to do. Very clear. No bamboozling. Bad guy. Terrible human. Definitely didn't go to Argentina as his country was being bombed and there was no way for him to leave. As Germany... So you think as that country ran out of fuel... Like, it didn't happen.
No.
Didn't happen. Don't worry about it. Didn't happen. Didn't happen. James, didn't happen.
No, but again, I didn't say I believe in every conspiracy that I read about.
But what about that one?
It's
you seem to believe that one.
Interesting to read into them.
I got you. I don't see. That's where I like stuff that's true. I find it interesting that when it's true. That's what I like. But again, you're allowed to believe that. I'm also allowed to call it crazy. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not saying you mustn't keep being into conspiracy theories. I'm saying fully expect anybody half intelligent to call you absolutely nuts and not want to talk to you. Do you understand what I'm saying? Go ahead with the conspiracy theories. It's lunacy. And there's no smart people. No smart people are into conspiracy theories. And anybody who wants to be that person, come on now. Let's grow up. You know what I mean? Moon landing wasn't faked. We've got other stuff to do. What other comments are there? Because maybe there's people supporting you, James. Must also, I don't just want to hear things that support me. I want to hear people that support you. You know what I mean? Just give me any comment, random comments. Let's see what people are saying.
LB says absence of evidence is not evidence.
Well said.
Sam Shapiro says conspiracies are an exercise in creativity, not fact. David Grimes debunks conspiracies with maths. Because I did maths lit, so there's no chance I'm putting myself through that.
No, you didn't do maths. Yeah, that's not maths.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What else? Let's have some comments on screen there, James. You know, I want to see what people are saying.
But then you got to give me a second to put them on the screen.
Yeah, no. Well, let's get into it. I'm totally into it, ladies and gentlemen. Incredible scenes here. Absolutely incredible scenes. I wonder if YouTube's going to shut us down. We have said a terrible person's name a couple of times. And saying the moon landing was fake. They don't really like that at YouTube. So what a show this is, huh? People probably tuned in to hear about sport. And here we are. Arguing about... I mean, you can put any comment on screen, really, James. You know?
See what it takes me a second to do the whole thingy thing.
Oh, is there like a process?
Yeah.
All right, well, tell you what I'll do. I do have a laptop here, so I can read some of the comments.
But then why'd you ask me to put them on screen?
Maud says, can MKT leave the ranting and patronizing to the GCS show? I mean, at least you know I'm real. I'm constantly patronizing and ranting, so at least it's my real character. Tristan says, let's see here. Lindo Gutle says, everybody comes with their own element to create a new lie that turns into reality to a person that is not so much educated. These theories look, feel, and sound fabricated, as they are most. Parallel Parking says, Mbulelo's mind has been blown. It has. Robin Badger says, I sound like her maths teacher. So that's probably annoying or scary. One of the two. So we'll take one more. LB says, how the F can the Earth be flat? GPS is based on the Earth being round. Nothing you use could work using a flat Earth model. Okay, I think we're all pretty clear on that. We're not that. Hey,
we're not that off. Is that what you said?
No, we're not that like mental. Or James, sorry, maybe I'm being closed-minded. What do we land on in terms of flat Earth? Oh,
that we breezed over that and moved on.
Yeah, because it's tough. You know what makes the flat Earth thing tough? Yeah, you got to see the magnetic pull of the world as well. kind of needs to be spherical for that to happen, you know?
Didn't I say
No,
that?
no, I'm not saying you. I'm just saying flat earthers.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's why I say I don't believe in all of them.
Yeah. Okay. So also, it's really, really important to read about history because in a conversation like this, you need to know what was happening in China while all these mad people were doing stuff as well. Do you know what I mean? Because also, you were talking about the human condition. You don't think knowing how we were in the past could inform how we live today at all?
What does that have to do with, like, whether the Earth's flat?
No, I'm just saying, now we're talking about reading educational stuff. I know you're like, that's boring. That happened a long time ago. But it might be interesting to know how we lived 3,000 years ago. And also, you know why it's important to know about the world wars, James? It's really important. What's the best way to learn not to do something again? Would you say?
No, but now I just feel like you're not listening.
Go ahead.
Because I said this.
What?
I said, I understand why we are taught about these things. And why it's part of a lot of foundations in schools and throughout life. Like, I understand why it's there.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I have to find the fact that the Wilcox dude crashed his tank into a trench
Yes.
on the 6th of March in 1939. It doesn't mean I have to find it interesting.
No, but it's
Understand why we're
interesting that you
taught.
say that. It's interesting
Okay.
that you say that. So do you just think you're a product of now? Like you were born and this is what you're going to be?
No, because again, I understand why we are taught it.
Yes. You don't think you should look into it? So that, because what if you repeat, let's say you repeat the same mistakes, but somebody 800 years ago wrote a book about it. You don't think you should try and find that book to avoid some of the mistakes we may make as human beings moving forward as an individual and a society? Or you think, to hell with that, man. I'm just going to make graphics.
No, wait. So it's important that you have a foundation of it, right? It being, let's say, as an example, World War, right? It's
Yes.
important to have a foundation of it.
Yes.
Okay. But it doesn't necessarily mean you have to know that this dude crashed his tank. You don't have to know that on the 5th of March, this dude, why is that important to me? Oh, I must be careful where I drive my tank. You know?
This is incredible. This is incredible. So you're wearing glasses, huh? You think that just happened? Like, that's awesome. Like, the way you think leads me to think, you just think stuff just happens. Like, who cares what they did 3,000 years ago? Those people are old anyway. They couldn't even figure out electricity. What do they have to tell me? It's basically what you're saying. What a wild world you live in, James. And James, never change. I want to tell you, you are awesome the way you are. Linda Woodley says, want to find out about this one. Take your entire life savings, buy a rocket ticket or SpaceX. Elon is flying people to the moon. No better way to find on the weather, or find out that whether the Earth is flat or not. Tracy says, you are entitled to your opinion. You are not entitled to your version of facts. James, you know what's quite boring about facts? Can't be open-minded about them.
Can't be open-minded about it.
Can't be open-minded about penicillin. You know what I mean? Imagine Alexander Fleming, right? Not that it matters, James, because it doesn't matter what happened, right? You're just like Alexander Fleming. Who cares, right? You like, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that he as the story goes, James, you'll like this because it's a little bit open-minded. There's a little room for creativity here. Story goes, mold actually was a massive part of the story in terms of him discovering penicillin, right? And now, if you want to stay open-minded, maybe, just the wind blew. And he's like, oh, it's cold. I feel runny nose. And then he just, a fairy came down and we had penicillin. So stay open-minded to both being possible, by the way. Are you willing to stay open-minded? That it could have been his observation of mold under light may have helped him to discover what we now know as penicillin, save billions of lives. Shout out Alexander Fleming. But you see how he couldn't afford to be open-minded because you know what he had to do? Experiments. Yeah, those are so boring. They're so boring because you can't be open-minded at all. You actually have to know, number one, how to do mathematics. Number one, how to do statistics. Number two, you have to understand something called something which I was terrible at. Jimbo, shout out to me failing 2 years of chemistry because of this. Something called forest plotting. If you don't know how to do the rest of the stuff, which is actually Really, really important. You can't do that. And if you can't do that, you can't actually correlate and find your way to a compound we called penicillin. No open-minded there. You know what I'm saying? So that's the problem with facts. They're a little bit rigid. Which is, Jimbo, don't get into it, bro. Who cares? Adolf Hitler in Germany. Unbelievable. All right. People probably tuned in for other stuff. James, end of the show, huh?
I
think we've done enough here.
Yes, yeah. That is the end of the show.
Thanks for educating me, James.
No problem.
Incredible scenes. Argentina, you say? What do you know about Argentina?
It's in South America.
Anything else?
Leo Messi and Sergio Aguero are from there.
Okay, that's pretty much now. So nothing on the history. Yeah? Falklands, heard of that? Gotta say, but you can't be open-minded about the Falklands, by the way.
I know there was the Falklands War, but I have no idea what it was about.
Wild.
But I'm naive. It's okay.
I don't think you're naive. You're just open-minded.
Yeah.
Argentina, the land of silver. You want to find out about that? Go and look at some history. But it happened a long time ago. James Ilsley says, "Get that the hell out of here." Hey, it's old. James, you know what might be cool? You should go to Argentina because you might find something that no scientist has ever found to be true, right? And you could change. What's the movie with Tom Hanks? The Dan Brown books. Angels and Demons guy, man. What's the ones with the angels and... Oh, you don't know what it's called. Anyway, the one where they investigate history. But you could change the course of history because you're going to pop over to Argentina. Like, guys, you won't believe it. There's a moustache here. Right? You won't believe it. It's just a moustache. What color is it? Brown. Oh my gosh, guys, you won't believe it. I've stayed open-minded. And I think World War II was a lie.
I never said World War II.
At least the end. At least the end. Yeah, he was never there. Him and Ava Braun. They were not in that bunker. They didn't take cyanide together. That was a lie. Somebody else made that up. The government's trying to control us. There's a brown moustache in Argentina. It's in a bunker.
German colony in Argentina sounds a bit weird to me. I'm just saying.
Hey, listen. By the way, lots of Afrikaans people in Argentina. By the way, huge farming community there.
Where's your fact?
Oh, my eyes when I was there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You have like empirical evidence.
Yeah.
Okay.
Observation. Although observation, it's actually a terrible way to say something's true.
It's your word against mine.
No, but what about the other people who've been to Argentina as well and seen the same Afrikaans farmers who have formed actually a lot of the beef that's made in Argentina is through the education that the Afrikaans community that went to Argentina, and it's well known, and there's established roots between here, Argentina, and the rest of the world. Afrikaans farmers, real thing.
Hey,
what about those people?
I'm just making sure that you have all your facts and stuff.
I don't. I need to stay open-minded. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a sports show, and working with James is incredible. As you heard today. Listen, if you live in Argentina, start digging. Because you could change the face of history. You could find a man who terrorized the world for 15 years and ultimately for 6 years, and we know how it ended. Or do we? Ladies and gentlemen, stay woke. Keep your mind open. Be open-minded. But as the great Richard Dawkins said, and I do think it's important because we do have a public platform and it is my responsibility ultimately with my name on the door to say, as the great Richard Dawkins says, it is important to be open-minded, but not so open-minded that your brain falls out. On that note, my name is MKT. This is the MKT Show. And for now, we are the hell out of here.